Happy Tuesday, the 23rd of April. How are we all doing? It's roughly about 3:30 and the sun is shining, so I hope that we're all going to get out and enjoy the sunshine. Those that couldn't be with us, get well soon. Those that are on the holidays, enjoy, and we'll see you back at class next week. Hard to believe we're heading into our last week of April 2024 and into another bank holiday weekend. This week's talk is titled What Mental Health Is and What It Isn't. So still, even the society that we live in, yes, we're more open about talking about mental health, especially our male population, but there is still a stigma that's there associated with mental health and talking about it, and hopefully in another 10 years that's vastly improved again. But it is something that is really, really important, especially on our health journey. Remember that I always say that this is not just a weight loss journey, this is a mental and physical, basically a health journey. So let's get into our talk. What mental health is, on one side of the poster, is very important. So it's something that we do have to look after. It's not one fix and then it's done. So it's not like, it's just, let's say, a little bit similar to our weight loss journey. It's not that we just lose the weight and then it's done and it's never going to go back on again, or that we have a mental health and then we have a bad day and that's it. It's something that is a work in progress that we constantly have to check in. So a little bit like we check in maybe on our physical health, to say if we have a headache or a backache or just in a little bit of pain, we might check in and say, God, it's 4 hours since I took my last paracetamol, I need to take my next dosage. So it's the same as our mental health. We need to check in on ourselves, so at least once a day, and definitely we should aim towards twice a day, morning and evening, just checking in on ourselves and see how we are, as we would with a close friend, or family member, or maybe work colleagues that we know that are struggling. We might send them a text in the morning, the evening, just to see how they're doing. So to check in with yourself. Our second point then is it's something that everyone has. So that's what it is. Mental health is something that we all have. It's not that we can pick and choose on it. It's intrinsically linked and probably inseparable from physical health. So really there is a direct link there, that once our mental health is good, it's a knock on to our physical health. You know yourself, when you have a bad day, it's a ripple effect, and kind of everything, then we start having aches and pains. It's just a knock on because we're not feeling okay that particular day, which is absolutely fine, but it is inseparable from our physical health. So one goes hand in hand with the other. So it's really important, obviously, to look after our mental health, to have a knock on to physical health. Then it's not a conundrum. So basically it's constantly there. It's not something, as I said at the opening, that is one fix and then it's done. It's something that we constantly have to keep a work in progress, and something that is constantly there. Next, it's worth making time for. So that's important. So let's say for the men in the group, they might make time to watch their football match, go for a round of golf, maybe visit friends, family, go out for their pint. So, and as well, like for the females, we might go and get our nails done, get the hair done, make time for a shopping or maybe our food shop. So mental health is definitely worth making the time for, because it really is key. As I've said, it is a ripple effect. If up here is not okay, it's a knock-on effect. And then again, when our mental health isn't good, what we start looking for is the wrong food, the wrong type of food, portion size, junk food. And as I just got to share in the class, and as we all said, basically when we eat junk, that we do feel junk. So the next point, it is part of being human. That's what mental health is, part of being human. Our next point then is something that we need to look after. So it's a little like, let's say, our cars, maybe our phones as well. So their phones, we make sure we have a screen protector, we have a phone cover, we make sure that the charger, the wire and all is straight, it's plugged in properly. With the cars, we make sure that the tyre pressure is right. We don't just wait for the tyres to go flat before getting them fixed. We might get our lights checked before the MCT, make sure that the oil is okay, our brake pads. So that's something that we need to look after, basically to maintain it. So it's the same as our mental health. It's something that we have to constantly look after to maintain good mental health. There is positive and negative to it. So mental health is positive and it is negative. So for me, it's really important to talk about your good mental health days as much as your bad mental health days. So when we have a good day, like when the sun is shining, I think we're all in great form over the weekend. To talk about your good days. Yes, today is a good day and I'm feeling good, rather than just talk about maybe the bad mental health days. It is changeable, it is complex, and it is real. Okay, so that's what mental health is. It's changeable, it's complex, and it's real. But what it isn't, on the other side of our poster, is a sign of weakness. So it's not a sign of weakness to talk about it. As I said, we're in a generation now where we are more open to talk about it, but there is yet that stigma, and we still might quite hold back and be careful who we say that we might have mental health issues, as in having bad days, maybe depression, but it is okay to talk about it. It's not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength. And sometimes when we verbalise things or vocalise things, it feels okay because who we've verbalised or vocalised it to is probably in the same position. So therefore we get into a conversation, then we can relate. Next then, it isn't shameful. It's absolutely not shameful just because it's something that isn't seen. So it's a little bit like depression, that you might not know someone is depressed unless you know them very well. Same as mental health, that we might not know that someone's in a good place because you might be good, let's say, putting on the makeup or putting on the mask or putting on the front. So it's not something that is shameful. It's something that is there, and it's something that has to be addressed and talked about. Next, then, that it's all in your mind. Okay, so mental health is not all in our mind, that we're thinking, overthinking things. It's not that at all. I remember that was said to me many years ago, and I did spiral, because I really believed that was in my mind, because this person said, that's all in your mind, you're overthinking things, and just kind of a little bit of gaslighting was going on in there now that I look back on it. So it's not all in our mind. It isn't always something negative. So again, as I said, we do have good days, and to talk about our good mental health as well as our bad mental health. Something to think about only when it's broken. So it's not something that it's only when it's broken or on those bad days that we feel, right, I have to go and do something about this, or talk to someone, or talk to my GP about this. It's something that should be done all year round, 365 days a year, at least once a day. Definitely working towards twice a day of checking in on ourselves. So it's not just like when it's broken or when the phone is broken. The phone might be on the blink for a little while, and maybe it's not powering properly, or maybe you can only take certain calls, or you can only swipe one direction if there's a crack in the screen. That you go and get it fixed. You bring it before it's actually, you don't have a phone, let's say, or before the car burns out that it doesn't have oil. We go and get it fixed before it's actually broken. So it's the same as us, to really check in on that. It's really, really important, especially on our health journey. It's an interchangeable term with mental illness. So they're on different spectrums. So mental illness is obviously something that will be diagnosed, and there's different mental illness in there. A lot recently have been diagnosed with clinical depression. It seems to be the big term that's out there now. But mental health is down here, and mental illness is up here, because they are different things, they are different spectrums, and they're different diagnoses that's in there. Then feeling good all the time. So it's not about feeling good all the time. That's not what our mental health is. It's probably more bad days than good days. Something that you can snap out of. So again, that's the worst thing you can kind of say to someone that is having a bad day or a bad moment, is, oh, just snap out of it, or stop thinking about it. Because if it was easy as snapping out of it, we would all do it. It's not just as easy as snap out of it. Nobody wants to be in bad form or have bad days or suffer with their mental health. Sometimes it can be a constant battle, and again, that can be from personal experience, that I can say, talk about that quite openly, that it's not something you can snap out of. If it was, then obviously we would all do it. Next, it isn't something that can be fixed, and it's not fake news. So there are two last ones on the isn't side. Okay, so that's basically what mental health is and isn't. So I hope that it helps. And your little motto for this week is, your mental health matters, so let's protect it. Okay, it's really important, because again, mental health is a trigger to us overeating or overindulging in the wrong type of food. And as we've agreed in class and agreed here, that when we eat junk, we basically feel junk. So I hope that it does help. Another deep talk again next week. As I said at the opening, those who couldn't be with us, get well soon. Those that are on holidays, enjoy. You know the drill. Any positive or negative feedback, please get in touch. And have a great week, and we see less of each other next week. Big hugs and kisses to everyone. Have a fabulous week, and get out in that sunshine and enjoy. Bye bye everyone.